So, Cameron, you just recited 500 digits of pi. Today's March 10th, 2017, and you're 12, and you're getting ready for the Fort River Pi contest. Tell me the process for, you had 200 digits memorized from last year, and those are pretty solid, right? Like,
yeah.
How did you memorize the last 300, and how long did it take you?
Well, it takes me about 2 hours to memorize 100 really roughly.
And how do you do it?
Well, I memorize them in groups of 10, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh. And how do you memorize that many?
Well, I noticed patterns and like repeating numbers and how they relate in the page.
Like give me the example.
Well, I think it's like 1/3 mathematical memorization, then 1/3 visual memorization, like
You can see it on the page?
a third of the time. And 1/3 just like memory tricks. So I think it's kind of like a blend of math, like mathy kind of memorization, like repeating numbers, patterns in the numbers.
Give me an example of something from each of those thirds.
Well, if you look at the page behind me, not that I was looking at it, but if you look at this page, you'll notice I've circled patterns I notice in the numbers. Like, for example, right here, 6117 appears right one above the other.
Oh, yeah.
And I've circled all the double numbers places. And
so are those the ones that you see on the page?
Yeah, and I also noticed that 22, I had trouble remembering 227 and 119.
Yeah.
But they both add up to the same thing.
Huh. And that helps you.
Yeah, 2 plus 2 plus 7, that's 11. And 1 plus 1 plus 9, that's 11 too.
Huh. So, which of the things do you find just from the page?
From the page?
This is a good example. Yeah, or...
Well, for example, when I'm memorizing, Daddy was really, it took him a while, but he managed to get 3 on each line. Oh, no, 10 on each line, and have there be 10 of those lines on the page, so each page is 100.
Oh.
He messed with the font and the size and stuff.
And that helped you?
However, this one isn't.
No, I didn't do that. I did these ones, and I just made a bit.
And so I just, this one is just, I remember it because, I have trouble remembering 0920, but I know it's right there in that page, and I'm like, the new 10 starts 488152, and I'm like, what comes after that? Oh yeah, right in that area on that page is it for a group of 4. I have 0920, so if I need a group of 4, I can remember the ones I have on the page in that area and get it.
Now, okay, have a seat. I want to ask you a couple more things. So, at various times when you're reciting, you would stop for like a few seconds. What were you doing? What were you thinking about when you were stopping?
Well, that's when I blank out for a second. That's just a usual pressure thing. I can do it without stopping too much when I'm just doing it by myself.
It's okay to stop.
I know.
I'm more surprised and impressed that you're able to start. Like, if you blank, how do you know where you've stopped?
Well, I make a mental note of where I stopped.
How do you make a mental note?
Like, right when I just repeat what I just said in my head, and then
You can remember what you just said.
Yeah.
So your mental note is just kind of filing the way to your memory. Okay, I'm stopping at...
Yeah. And then using visual memorization plus math tricks plus acronyms and stuff. Using those 3 skills, I can usually find it.
Like, what's an acronym that you use?
Like, the other day, my friend, I don't know if it's here, my friend, Faraz, he invented a game about testing how, chubby you were.
Okay.
No offense to chubby people.
Yes.
But, anyway, the fat test was first you start out as a rat, and then you graduate to a cat,
Yeah.
and if you pass the cat, then you become a pig,
Uh-oh.
and after you become a pig, then you become a manatee.
I see.
And so, if
Probably
you look
almost like a
behind
manatee.
here, I had trouble remembering these last ones,
Okay.
and so I made them each parts of the animal in the fat test.
What do you mean?
So like this, if you tilt it sideways, it kind of looks like a rat. The
Okay.
9
Yeah.
with a tail.
Yeah.
Then this is like cat ears. The 3 is like cat ears, which is next in line.
Okay.
The 8 is like a pig snout, and with a tail and the head, that's like a manatee.
So you think about all this as you're trying to get those 4 numbers?
Yeah, I do that when I'm memorizing it, and then that way I can remember it when I blank out for a second or something.
Ah. So when you're
My most common error is that I get tongue-tied when I'm saying it.
okay.
If you look back in the video, you'll see I say 572. I mean 575.
Right.
That's because I
so
got
what happened there?
tongue-tied with the next one, which is 272. So it goes 575 272. I said 572.
Right.
So that's like a common error,
But you caught it.
but I caught it. And I think if I catch it fast enough, they won't stop me.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for the contest you got to be. I think if you once you say a number wrong, you're done.
Still, that's almost 500.
Yeah,
That's in
good.
the line before 500.
That's pretty good. You mentioned some are math tricks. What are the math tricks?
Like noticing what adds up to what. If you make them letters, what spells what.
But how can you process all that while you're reciting it back?
Well, I know the vowels are 1 for A, then 5 for E, then 9 for I. And so when I see like a bunch of 1s, 5s, and 9s, then I think about converting it to a word to help me memorize it. Like, for example, the 99th, 100th, and 101st digits spell bad.
Okay.
Though I know the first 200 without even thinking about it, so
All right.
that doesn't really help me much.
Okay. So, what are the other math tricks you use?
Well, like I noticed, like repeating numbers,
Yeah.
like and what adds up to what. Like I showed that earlier, the 227 versus the 119.
But how would you know that you're at that point where these are the ones that add up to 11?
Well, I because it's the pattern, the way the numbers go. It goes like low number, high number.
Okay.
And like once I hit 1, the 227 I think I can remember.
Okay.
And after that I know the 119 is coming up.
But how do you know when it's coming up? How do you know it's like not 2 digits away?
Because
instead
it's
of
on the
10?
next set of 10.
So that's where you use your visual memory? You can remember it's like under and like
Yeah.
2 or
It's
3
directly
over.
under it if you look over there, but
Okay, so it's directly under. Is it hard to memorize 100 digits?
it takes me a while. It takes me like 2 hours to memorize. It depends on the 100. Like if there's a lot of easy patterns to notice, it goes by pretty fast.
Yeah. Like which set of 100 was easiest?
The 300 was fairly easy.
How long did that take you to memorize?
That took me about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But the 300 to 400 took me like 2 hours.
Okay. Why was that harder?
Just not as many patterns that I noticed in the.
Uh-huh.
And I think the easiest ones for me to remember are the ones that have. I don't notice anything in any patterns at all, and so I just use acronyms, and more acronyms to remember it.
Like what?
Like for example, if you look,
Yeah, why don't you bring the thing down?
well, it isn't just acronyms; it's also like numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the 627 495 6735.
Yeah.
No repeating numbers anywhere.
Right.
And I mean, I know it's in that area from visual memorization, but the pattern the numbers go, I just have to remember it. So I know 9 and 6 are both divisible by 3, so I know it comes right after the 9 up there.
Okay.
And then
But there's lots of 9s. How do you know it's not the 9 a couple rows up?
because I know that one comes right before the 3, which is also divisible by 3.
Huh.
And 6 comes after the 3.
Okay, because 6 is bigger than 3.
Yeah. And anyway, so it goes 6, 2, 7. I just have to remember that by practicing it over and over again. 4, 9, 5. I just have to remember that. And also the 4, 4, 4 over there.
Yeah.
But in the last bit, it goes 6, 7, 3, 5. It's a blend of these two. 6, 2, 7, then 4, 9, 5. And the 3 I just need to remember. But it goes 6, 6, 7, 3, 5.
Okay. So when you're memorizing them, do you you think up a trick for each set of 10, and then do you just practice those 10 for like 20, 30, 40 times, or do you
No. So I
have them after you come up with a trick?
Well, once I come up with a trick, I say that 10 twice, and then I go back to the beginning of the 100 I'm working on, and then I do that. And then I move on to the next 10. And once I have 100, I do the whole thing again and again, and then I add it on to what I know from the beginning.
Okay. So each segment, about how many times are you doing it before you got the 100?
Each group of 10?
Yeah.
Like twice.
Twice, and then you add it to the 100, and then you do the 100 twice, and then you add it to the whole thing?
No. I mean, that's just for the last one. I add it to what I have of that 100, then I move on to the next 10 in that 100. And once I have the whole 100, and I practice that several times just to make sure I have it pretty well, and then I add it on to the rest.
Okay. Why, you think this is fun, right?
Yeah, it is, in my opinion, kind of fun.
And why is it fun?
Well, it's fun to think of memory tricks and acronyms.
Yeah.
And it's a competitive
Yeah.
thing at my school.
Yeah.
You get a free pie, but it's more the title.
Yeah. You're interested in setting a record, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
I've already set a Fort River record.
The 210.
10. Which was last year.
206.
It's 206.
Yeah. So now you want to break that record.
Yep.
Okay. Do you think that in a month you'll still remember 500 digits of pi? Or is it in your short term or your long term?
What?
Is it in your short term memory or your long term memory?
Well, I pretty much, when I started memorizing it, I pretty much knew the whole 200 that I had gotten from last time.
So that stayed in your memory from last year?
For a year.
Huh.
Even though I hadn't practiced it in, ages.
Yeah. How does that stay in your memory for a year?
I don't know. Because everybody else in my class who participated in it, they'd completely lost it and made mistakes at 10 or 20 digits.
Yeah.
When they'd previously gotten By the way, I just found out today Faraz had 150 in the competition.
Wow.
But he made a mistake at 90.
Oh, wow. All right. So what are you going to do with pi after Pi Day?
I don't know.
Do you want to do...
That's a geography bee.
Yeah. But do you want to do any more pi contests later on?
Maybe.
Where?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't really know.
Maybe outside of the school.
I don't know.
All right. But so on a scale from 1 to 10, how fun is it to memorize pi?
I'd say memorizing it about a 7. Getting the memorizing it and then winning it a 10.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah.